कमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूप स्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थे सुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्म हृदय आदि कवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुकी. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 13, verse number 11. So we were reading the duties of sannyasi, conduct, how he should live, and then he said that he can have the symptoms of Vyaktalingo Vyaktartho Manishunmatta Balavat Kavir Mukvadatmanam Sadrishtya Darshendranam. So this is, from here he starts explaining about Avdhuta, which is a state of sannyas where person goes beyond all normal behavior. So therefore he says Avyaktalingo Vyaktartho Manusya Unmatta Balavat. Manishi Unmatta Balavat, that he can have visible signs, no signs, behaves like a mad fellow, or like a child. Kavir Mukvad Atmana Sadrishtya Darshenana. Sometimes he is intelligent, sometimes like dumb, as if unable to speak. So he says this is how he should present himself. So this is, he gives an example of this here. So atrapi udaharanti itihasam puratanam prahaladasya cha samvadam munera ajagarasya cha. So he says in this regard, they describe an old story about dialogue between Prahlad and one sage who is called here Ajgara. Ajgara means one who lives like an Ajgara or a python. So not making any effort. Usually we think that we do things and it is troublesome to do something. Most difficult thing is not to do anything. You try it, this is most difficult. You don't have to do anything at all. So Ajgar means become like a python, you just lie in one place, don't do anything. So this is the highest state of sannyas.
Not even think. Not even think.
Think what? If you don't do anything, what will you think? You think you'll start doing something.
Okay.
And you'll think about doing something.
That's the answer.
So it is beyond all thinking. So this is called thoughtless thinking. So he says that this story is described here. So siddhasya lakshanam tadeva sadhakena sampadaniyan iti abhipretya itihasam prapnoti atrapi. So why this is being described here? Because nobody can live like this. This happens naturally. And that's you have to practice it. So he says that what are the characteristic of a perfected being? They are the practice of sadhaka. So atrapi yavad adhyaya samapti. So this is being described here till the end of this chapter. Atrapi swamahatmya chhadanena avasthane api prahladasya ajgarasya ajgarvrittasya mune prahladadibhya uchivan इति ज्ञापकात् दत्तात्रेयस्य च संवादरूपं पुरातनमेवम् इतिहासम् उदाहरन्ति दृष्टान्तत्वेन बुधा दर्शयन्ति. So although it is not said here with whom Prahlad was speaking, but understanding is that it was Dattatreya. So Dattatreya lived in India, South India, and he was an avdhuta. So it's supposed to be a story. He is also an avatar. So Prahladasya cha samvadam muner ajgarasya cha. So dialogue Prahlad and Muni. Tam shayanam dharopasthe kavirya sahrishan muni sahyasan muni rajasvalai tanudeshair nigudha tejasa. So Prahlad was traveling somewhere and there he saw this person on the bank of river Kaveri. So Kaveri is in south, near the Sahyachal mountain. He was lying on the ground full of dust, but he looked very effulgent. Rajasvalais tanur deshe nigudham mamala tejasam. He has great effulgence emanating from him, but he looked like some crazy person. Sometimes some mad fellow lying on the ground or somebody intoxicated. So like that. So tat samvad prasangam darshayati. Shows this samvad. Tam munir kaveriya kaveri nadi tire sahyachalasya parvatasya sanuni dharopaste bhumo sayanam rajasvale rajo vibhusrai tanu desai dehaveve nigudham amalam tejoyasya tam prahlado daladarshay vitpranam. So Prahlad just saw him lying down on the ground. So outside India, anywhere in the world, a person like this will be considered as mad. And they will probably pick him up and take to mental hospital. But only in India they will worship somebody like this. So So here also, is he still there?
He's dead.
He's gone?
Yeah, one car ran him over the leg. He got an infection and then...
He died? When?
In June.
Yeah?
They tried to make a saman there with the police quickly. They moved it.
So he died there only?
She was okay, 200-300 people gathered there.
But he died in the same place?
Yeah.
So there was one person like that, he was lying on the road all the time. Heat, cold, rain, right? Always. Naked. Completely naked. He was like, I saw him for so many years.
This is recently.
He died this
He
June.
died recently. He was there for 20 years.
Hmm?
He was there for 20 years.
Yeah. I've seen him for at least 20 years. I saw him. Just lying there. And he's just naked. And big people bring him some food, they eat, and he's just there. I never saw him anyway. So it seems because he was just on the side of the road. Of course, 20 years ago there was not so much traffic there. Now there are too many cars. So some car went inside. Got infected and died. So he didn't go to hospital or anything.
It just deteriorated slowly, gangrene.
So this is what Avdhut is. So
Do you think there was something spiritual?
I didn't notice.
He was getting angry.
Hmm?
He had all kinds of emotion.
Yeah, he lived like an Avdhuta, but I don't think that he was really elevated like the way he is described. But he did live at least like an Avdhuta. That is for sure. But I don't think that he was spiritually elevated.
At least not for us. Other people thought he was.
Yeah, but many people thought that he is highly elevated. So of course you never know. It's difficult to say. Because Avdhuta is Avdhuta, he can get angry, he can do anything. He doesn't follow any rules. And he is not worried about name, fame, what people will say, what they he just don't care.
He used to speak to the people.
A little bit. People were going to him to get numbers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lottery or something. Lottery.
Those are the type of people who are going to him. That maybe he says. So there are always some people trying to get some number from him. I don't know how he came there. I never asked. Somebody knows. So dadarsha lokan vicharan lokatattva vivitsaya vritoramattai katipayai prahlado bhagavatriya. So Prahlada, who was very dear to the Lord, great devotee, we already read his story just few chapters before, and he was surrounded by some of his ministers because he was a king. Prahlada was a great king. So he was going around to know about the absolute reality, Tattva Vivitsaya, trying to find some sadhu, meet, talk to him, have dialogue. And then while going around he saw him. So then he immediately stopped there. So what did he do? Karmana kriti bhirvacha lingair varnashramadibhi Navidanti janam yavai svasaviti naveticha. So by his deeds, by his appearance, any of these things, it did not look like that he is belonging to some ashram, some varna. His speech, so nobody could know that he is belonging to some varna or ashram, or whether he is a perfected being or not. Because you cannot know. His behavior looks like a mad person. And he said that sometimes they behave as if they are deaf or dumb, they don't speak, sometimes they speak. They may get angry, abuse you, they can do all kinds of things. So he says nobody could figure out what he is. So Parampara saw, he could understand that he is some great person. So tam natva abhyarchaya vidhivat padayo sirsha sprishan vivitsuridam aprakshid mahabhagavato suraha. So he got down from his chariot vehicle, whatever he was going on, and he put his head at the feet of this person, as the custom is, and desiring to know from him, this great devotee Mahabhagavat Prahlad, he asked him as follows. So this is the question he asked him. Vibharshi kayam pivanam sodhyamo bhogavan yatha vittam chayudyam batam bhogo vittavatam. So he said that bhoginam khalu dehoyam piva bhavati nanyatha. So he said that, O Master, you appear very healthy and fat, like people who enjoy and work. It is seen in this world that those people who endeavor, they make money, and those who have money, they enjoy, and enjoyers have good body. Says there is no other reason for someone to be like this. Nate shayanasya nirudyamasya brahmantu hi arthoyata eva bhoga bhoginoyam tav vipradeha pivayata stadvadana kshama chet. So he says, but I see that you are just lying down and you are not making any movement, any effort, and you also don't have any money. So, if you don't have money, how can you have objects to enjoy? Because to enjoy you need money to buy things. You are not making any effort to do anything, therefore you don't have money, and because you don't have money you cannot enjoy. Still I see that you have this very strong, healthy body. So how is this? So he said that if you think I am qualified to hear this, then please at night. Right? Otherwise, how he can be fat? You cannot be fat without eating. So he says, but in your case, I don't see that you are eating even at night, because there is nothing here. In this solitary place, there is nothing to eat. So, how is it? So, Natashayanasya nirudyamasya. You are lying down, making absolutely no effort to do anything. So they even pass their urine stool there only. They don't move. So there is no question that you are enjoying. So still I see that you have a very healthy looking body, and the rule is that those people who have healthy body, they must have something to eat. So this is what I want to know from you. Kavi kalpo nipunadrik chitra priya katha sama lokasya kurvata karmam sheshe tadvikshita piva. So he says that how does this happen? You look very learned, capable, intelligent, and you must have already spoken to him, because he says that your words are wonderful. So you see that the whole world is working, but you seem to be having no desire and just lying down in one place. What is the reason for this? So Kavi Kalpo Nipun Drik Chitra Priyaka Katha Sama. So Lokasya Kurvata Karma Sheshe Tadvikshitapi. So Kimevam Te Vicharene Iti Chet Tadahatvat Dehe Samudrik Shalakshan Drishtya Kavi Tattva Kalpatwadikam Anumaya Tvayatvam Pritarthi Kartum Kamapi Alap Amritamichhamitya Kaviriti. So how does he know that he is intelligent? So either we assume that he must have spoken before, or Vishwanath Chakravarti says that Prahlad saw the bodily marks. So just like some people can read face. There is one book called Samudrik Shastra, which is like explaining how to understand the character of a person by looking at his face, the body, hands, legs, etc. So he says that he must have looked at him and he saw that he has a very special body. His facial expression, his eyes, it shows something very special about him. Therefore he is speaking like this. So he says that Prahlad wanted to hear something from him. After seeing some very special symptoms on the body, on the hands, on the face, on the leg, so he could see that he is a great personality, he is not an ordinary person. Therefore, after making this inference, he desired to hear from him. And therefore he speaks these words. Karma kurvataha karma udyamavantam lokam anadritya tamapashyaneva seshe shayanam karosi tasya vikshita kautukena tam pashyaneva. So he says that everybody is working, but you have no interest in doing anything. So there must be some reason for that. Why is that you are just lying down here? Therefore I want to know that. So Narada Vacha Saityam Daitya Patina Parikrishto Mahamuni Smaymanastam Abhyaha Tadavagayam Vitayam Pritaha. So Narada said that after hearing this question of Prahlada, then that Avdhuta, great personality, he spoke as follows while smiling and being impressed by Prahlad, because Prahlad was also a great person. So he could also understand this, that Prahlad is not ordinary being. So we already read the history of Prahlad. Even when he was 5 years old, he had darshan of the Lord. Nrsimhadev appeared to protect him. So that person, such a person must be very extraordinary even in his physical appearance. Therefore, the Avadhuta also could see Prahlad as somebody very special, and therefore he desired to speak. Otherwise, many people may ask him question, he may just keep quiet and not say anything. But he smiled because he could understand that Prahlad has realized who he is. And that's why he was smiling. And he was also happy to meet somebody like Prahlad, a great devotee, so that he could also converse with him. So then he spoke as follows. Brahmana uvacha, the Brahmana said, Vedidam asura shrestha bhavan nanuarya sammatah iha pramayorinam padanyadhyatma chakshusha. So he said that, O Daityraj, king of the Daityas, all great personalities respect to you. He says that you can understand the outcome of doing karma and not doing it. So you are intelligent, so you know what happens if somebody acts pravritti and if somebody does not do anything. Ihav pramayor nirnam padani adhyatma chakshusha. Says with your spiritual vision, you can already know this, so therefore you understand why I am not working. Adhyatma chakshusha antardrishtya idam bhavan vede. So he says, with your inner vision, you already know the outcome of iha upramayo. Iha means action and uprama means inaction. Sakamattu naskamattu padani sthanani falani. Bhogartham udyamair deha pushti kurvatam lokanam dukkham yadi ham na agyasan tata udyamam aham akarishyamiti bhava. So the meaning is that if I had not understood this fact that these people who are working hard to make their body strong and healthy, they only end up in suffering, then I will not stop doing work. In other words, what is saying that I am not acting because I have realized that by acting we only suffer. Because all our suffering is coming from our own actions. Many times people are saying why people are suffering, why God is not doing anything. So they think that God either does not exist, that's what atheistic people say, or He is not bothered. So this is a very common question, common doubt in people's mind. So he says that the thing is that by action people only get suffering. And there are two types of suffering. One is called suffering, other is called happiness. So happiness is also a type of suffering, but people do not know this because of ignorance. So all the suffering in the world is only because of acting materially. Because of acting for material goal, material aim, fulfill material desires, the result is always suffering. And it never comes to an end because people never stop acting. So therefore he says that I have stopped. So that's why Buddha, he said, he spoke of the 5 cardinal truths, Arya Satya. So the first one was Sarvam Dukkham Dukkham. That's all suffering. So this is a great wisdom to come to this conclusion. Bhakti is beyond that. But first, at least one should realize this, that I did so many things in my life. What did I get? What is that you have now? Nothing. Only trouble. So everybody goes through the trouble. The parents, they go through trouble, then they create children, and then they train them to go through the same trouble. That, my dear son, I did this and I suffered, now you do it and suffer. So this is called Parampara. Unbroken chain of parents, children. Parents, children, parents. They pass it on. So all the parents are giving to their children is how to suffer. Because they have suffered themselves and that's all they know. Nothing else. Whatever they do, the end result suffering. Unless one comes to spiritual life, which means stop the material action. Either you stop and become like a bhuta, or you perform act for Krishna. Do bhakti. Otherwise, only suffering. There is not one person who does not suffer in this material world. No matter what he is, great, small, rich, poor, whichever country you go, everywhere people suffer. And then people keep on finding solution within the same cycle of suffering. So they never stop to think that what did I gain in my life? All these years, what did I gain? So sometimes foolishly we think that, well, I actually enjoy. Why are you telling this to me? I am enjoying. Nobody is enjoying. People cannot even have good sleep. You see how carefree the animals sleep, the birds sleep at night. They wake up in the morning, they are singing. You wake up in the morning, then you need a cup of coffee. Right? To make your brain active, because you become so dull. After waking up, if you have a good sleep, why do you need a cup of coffee? You should feel fresh, joyous. Should be in high spirit, singing, dancing. But we are already half dead. Then we have a cup of coffee. Then some energy comes. Then you start your day. So that means you need sleep properly. So why is that? This is suffering. So people do not realize this. Sukhaya karmani karoti loke nata sukham manyadu paramamba. People work for happiness, but they don't get it. And it's not so bad if you don't get happiness. The thing is that the suffering comes. If I'm trying to get something, I don't get it, that's alright. But if I'm trying to get something and I get which I don't want, that is a big trouble. So everybody works for happiness, everybody. And everybody ends up miserable, distressed, dejected. So then you take some drug, some bliss. Right? In your house also I saw these plants, bliss plants. Bliss room, right? So what is the need of that? That means there is suffering. And we want to forget that. So we take some drink, get high, then you come down, then you are in more distress. are so foolish that we don't understand it. And nobody understands. And parents are saying, anyway, they are young people, let them have this. Right? That's what you told me. I still remember. So what is this? What are we giving to our children? Only arrangement to suffer. So when they grow up, they give the same thing to their children, they pass it on. So this is called Dukha Parampara. So this is the biggest Parampara. People are saying this Parampara, that Parampara. The biggest Parampara is Dukha Parampara. Everywhere. Everyone is following this Parampara. So he says that you know, Ihav Pramayor Nirnam Padani Adhyatma Chakshus. Only when you have Adhyatma Chakshu, when you have spiritual eye, then you understand. Otherwise you cannot understand. Even if you hear it, you don't understand. Srutvapi evam na veda kaschat. So even if you hear it, you don't understand. You still think that no, it's not really like that. It's not so bad, as you are saying. But the fact is that there is no happiness in this material world. It does not exist actually. It does not exist. So if it does not exist, how can you find it? So everybody is groping for it and everybody is suffering. So sometimes that suffering decreases because we get busy with something, or we forget it, take some intoxicant, or we make ourselves busy in something. So then that suffering we forget or it reduces, we call that as happiness. It's like if you are carrying some weight on your shoulder and after some time it starts aching. So you put it on the ground or you change your shoulder and you put it on the other side. So then you feel relieved. So why you feel relieved? Because you are suffering and that suffering got transferred to the other side. And we are so foolish that we believe that, well, now I'm okay. But then it will start paining there after some time. So same in the material life. We forget for some time or we engage in some other activity. But after some time there also you will start suffering. It will not leave you. So you suffer with one person, then you say, well, it doesn't work, and this is not to my liking. Then you go with another person, then you suffer there. And still you don't learn. So then you continue like this. So this is the ignorance. This is called Maya. So you remain in that cycle. So only sometimes Uchai Gachati. Sometimes you go up, sometimes you go down. So when you go little up, you think, wow, it's so great, then you come down. So, Chakravat Parivartante Sukhani Cha Dukhani Cha. So happiness is not real happiness. Happiness is just little bit change of situation, that's all. Your mind gets absorbed in something for a short period. It cannot be absorbed for a long time anyway. So you forget that. Then it comes back. Like you are suffering, you take a painkiller. So when painkiller is there, it doesn't mean the pain has gone. It is only called painkiller. It does not kill the pain. If pain is killed, you should not feel it after the effect is over. When the effect is gone, then you feel the pain again. then you take another painkiller. So like that, there is a continuous pain. In between we have some painkillers, some sex, some drug, some other intoxicant, something like that. These are small painkillers. Then when the effect is over, then again the pain comes, because it is there continuously. So human life is like that. It's continuous pain. The solution is that you have to wake up from this. You have to get out. But unless you realize it, you will never get out. It's like if your leg is made, somebody gives an anesthesia to your leg, and then you stand on fire, you don't feel. So you say no problem. But if you don't have anesthesia, you will touch the fire, immediately you jump out. It's so painful. So as long as you do not realize, you don't jump out of it. And when you realize that it is painful, you will not stay. Nobody has to come and tell you. If your house is on fire, you don't say, well, what shall I do? Make a phone call, read in the book, what does Bhagavad Gita say when house is on fire, what should we do? You don't go on internet, check what is to be done. You jump out. If the door is closed, you jump out of the window. Because you understand that your life is in danger. You're going to die here. But if the house is on fire and you don't know this, you're sleeping, then you'll burn. Like the Pandavas, they had this guest, this lady with 5 sons. They were sleeping and the house was put on fire, they got burnt. So if we are sleeping like this, then we will not get out of the house which is burning. But if we are awake and we know that house is burning, we will never ask anybody. We will make effort to get out of it. So if we do not realize this fact that material life is only suffering, then no matter how much classes you listen, it has little effect. You go back, same, like a rubber band. So when you listen to class, you stretch it a little bit. Class is over, it comes back. So you go, that's why people hear lectures, they go to Bhagavad Katha, this. They talk nicely, when they go home, they do what they were doing before. Next morning. Because no experience, they don't even deliberate on it. It does not touch them. Just some kind of enjoyment. So that's why people go to lectures where there is some bhajan kirtan. And bhajan kirtan is good, but actually they are going because it's nice. Enjoyment. They don't really deliberate on it. So if you can deliberate and you can understand, then your heart will change immediately. You will not remain same. Because nobody drinks poison knowingly. If you know this is poison, you will not take it. Even if I give you 5,000 rupees, please drink this. This is a nice poison. You say, forget it. I say, okay, take 10,000 if you are not happy with 5,000. You will refuse. Because you know. But if you don't know that this is poison, if you think this is nectar, you will pay for it. People are drinking wine, liquor, so poison, but they don't think like that. They pay for it, right? They drink and they are happy. Only thing is, it is a slow poison. The poison will kill you quickly. This kills slowly, so you don't mind that. So I am ready to pay for that. So this is the life in the material world. This is the truth. But people get upset if you speak like this, because this is cutting their foundation. This is pulling the mat below their feet. So nobody likes this. So Avadhut is also speaking cleverly. He's not saying directly, maybe he will come slowly to that. But at least he's saying, well, you know it. The fact is that everybody knows this. But it's not just knowing like this, but actually having an experience of that. Believing that it is true. So everybody knows that if I do good, then I get good result. If I do something bad, forbidden act, stealing, violence to other living beings, I will suffer. Everybody knows this. Whether you believe in God or you don't believe in God, everybody knows. Everybody knows telling lies is not good. But everybody tells lies. Because they don't really believe in it. If they believed it, they won't do it. If people actually believe in law of karma, why so much all this varnashrama karma comes again and again and again and again? So that maybe sometime, someday, it will strike you. You can wake up. It's to wake up. So we don't really believe in these things. We don't believe in God. We don't believe in karma. We only believe in our body and sense pleasures. Otherwise we will immediately become serious. No one has to tell you. It's like when you fall sick and you have some terminal disease. Nobody has to tell you, do something about it. You run to the doctor, you ask others. You are always thinking about it. Because your life is in danger. But this is how our life is in danger. We are dying all the time. Only thing is, this death is second by second. So we don't seem to realize that I am dying. Every day I am dead. Every day I am dead. But I don't feel it. So I feel I am not going to die. But I am dying every day. Everything is killing me. Everything. I don't feel it. So even if I hear it, it doesn't make any effect on me because I don't feel anything. So then I continue as I am. And I can even give lectures myself like that to others. Yet I continue. Because it doesn't touch my heart. So just as we have faith in poison, that if I eat it, I will die. Therefore we don't die. We have faith, if I put my hand in fire, it will burn, so I don't put. Like that, the day you realize this fact, that I am dying every day, I am suffering all the time, then you will wake up. You will do something. You will not remain doing the same things again and again. Otherwise, this life will come to an end one day and this opportunity is lost. So therefore he says, Vedidam asur shreshta bhavan now Aryas nanu Arya sammata. He says that you know this very well. You are best of the person. This is the truth. Ihav pramayor nirnam padani adhyatma chakshusha. You can see this from your spiritual vision, what happens. So adhyatma chakshusha antardrishti idam bhavan vede. then you understand why I am not doing anything. Because if you do anything materially, you are making sure that you will suffer. Only thing is that you don't realize that. Because sometimes the suffering takes a little time to come. It does not happen. Every action does not give its result immediately. So you do not connect it. You don't think that this suffering I am getting because of my own action. I made the decision. Then when suffering comes, I start blaming others. Then it's because of you that it is happening. So this is teaching of the Brahmana. He will speak the rest of this chapter. We'll read. Continue reading tomorrow. Any question?
Samskara makes us do the wrong thing.
Yes.
Whether we believe that it's bad or not, it looks like we are helpless.
Yeah, but if you understand that samskara is making me do this, then you will try to get rid of that samskara. Because samskara is not stronger than you. You are the one who created it. It's not that somebody gave it to you. You made samskara yourself, right? It's like you made your house. So when you made your house, you can also dismantle it. You have to believe in it, that this is actually making me suffer. So let me not pour water on it and keep it alive. But we continue doing it. So mind has all these tricks how to evade. Sorry for my talk.
Huh?
Sorry for all this talk.
Very good.
Actually, thank you.
It wasn't part of the class?
Hmm?
It was not part of the class?
No, it was part of the class.
It's okay.
When people become upset.